Welcome back to the Dr. Des Show. I'm Dr. Des, and today we're talking all about digital courses. So now I get this question a lot from a lot of people on, I want to build a digital course. I want to build, a digital product or a membership community or whatever, but I don't know where to start. I don't know where to go. And today we're talking all about it. So I'm going to share with you guys how I got started, some of the strategies that I use, what didn't work, what did work, and some of the things that I'm looking forward to as well. But before we get started, you already know, like this podcast, subscribe to it, make sure that you share it with a friend, all right? Don't gatekeep the knowledge for yourself, all right? So let's go ahead and let's just dive in. So my first business, now, if y'all listen to me, y'all been rocking with me for a minute, then you know my first business that I started, like official business, was called Young Black and Professional. And it was focused in on helping recent college graduates really dive into the professional world, land their first career starting job, and really just kind of grow, right? Because I seen that disparity when I was taking on mentees, and a lot of my Black and brown interns and mentees, they just were not prepared. So I was like, you know what? I want to create something. So as soon as I finished my doctorate, I started building Young Black Professional. Now I started building it, and I built a digital course. That digital course was called Recent Grad Bootcamp. And it was like, I can't even remember. Let me see. I think it was like 5 weeks maybe. And it went from everything from mindset to resume, cover letter, to even like a digital portfolio for recent graduates, to interviewing, right? It was literally like a full service course to help recent graduates. And I think I only charged I think it was like $57, $47 or $57 for the course. And y'all, literally I wanted to make it affordable for recent graduates, but I had so many problems, right? Now, one, I did test and validate it and everything like that. But the major thing is though, I did not really perfect my messaging in that recent grad boot camp. I knew that, it would help people get jobs and everything like that. But when you're building stuff, one of the things that I learned, and we'll talk about in a few minutes, is, you have to really hone in on your messaging and really speak to people when you are developing anything and you're trying to sell. And I feel like I did okay, but it was a lot of lessons, a lot of just starting out. And one, I built the course on Teachable. So Teachable is a course platform. So it wasn't just like, oh, here, I'm sending you videos. There are so many different course platforms out there. Right now, I use Circle. So that's where I also host my membership community, and I host courses on Circle. But I use Teachable, right? And that was what I seen. There's a lot of other ones now, like membership.io is another course website where you can host your stuff. Thinkific, that's another one that I heard really good things about. So there are a lot of things out there now that you can host them. So I hosted it on Teachable, and it was a really good, process. It was streamlined. I had all of my content, the user interface, the usability was really good, right? And I think that, one of the things I could have done better, like I said, was my messaging, right? I built something because I knew that people needed it, but I didn't validate to know if they wanted it, right? So when you are building courses, before you do anything, you need to say, okay, who is my ideal client that I'm trying to reach? Who are they? I want you to paint the picture of this exact person. How old are they? What are their hobbies? What's their education level? Everything about them that you can think of. Are they a parent? Do they have kids? Do they want kids? Based on what you're trying to sell, build out this person, give them a name and everything. And all your marketing needs to be surrounded around that. Now, for a lot of people, that's counterintuitive because they're like, oh, well, hey, this is just for all recent graduates. Just all of them, in one. No. We need to focus in, and it's counterintuitive because we think, oh, in order to sell more, I need to make my thing broad and appeal to everybody. But if you're trying to appeal to everybody, you're going to end up appealing to nobody. And you need to make sure that your messaging is targeted and is specific, because what's going to happen is as you build, as you continue to market your business, you're going to start attracting other people outside of that ideal client. but you have to make sure that your messaging and your branding is consistent and it's on point. And eventually you can scale up, right? So if I was to say like, oh, I'm going to build a course and I'm going to market it to recent college graduates from HBCUs and they're 18, but I'm also going to say, oh, people from, PWIs, like I'm going to market to them too. Or it's just going to be all recent college graduates, right? Or just all anybody with any degree and everything like that. It just wasn't specific enough. And it was very broad. I was talking to a lot of different people. A lot of people could question, is this even for me? And what's crazy is that because I was in public health, even though I made my business kind of broad, all the public health people found me. Like 90% of my people who bought my services, whether it was one-on-one services, because I did resume development and career coaching, it was public health people. And I'm like, how y'all knew? Like, I didn't say specifically public health, but they found me and they knew it was public health. And I thought that was interesting. That's something that I kept in the back of my head. So I also was trying to like build an audience, right? And I built one, so I was able to sell, right? So I knew that like, I could sell some of these things, but I didn't really have a strategy for how I wanted to sell. My strategy was build the course. I'm going to do a webinar and I'm going to tell it to them on a webinar and they're going to buy it, right? And I pre-recorded everything. So that was another thing that I was like, okay, I'm doing these things, like they say I need to do these things, but it's not really working. Like I may sell one or two, but I just made $100. But listen, I'm paying like $50 a month for the platform. So in 2 months, I ain't really make nothing, right? So overall, for that first course that I made, like within 2 years, it made like $3,000. And over the course of like 2 years of selling this product, it made like $3,000, which is not great. If we're saying 2 years, we can't survive off of $3,000 for 2 years, right? But I learned so much, right? When I built that course. And now, like what I have now, my Subcontracting 6 Figures course for public health professionals, I niched down even more. And that made me $40,000 in 1 year. So definitely a big difference, right? So what changed? What changed in how I was doing my course, what I was doing? Number one, I got really strategic on who this was for, right? So I really drilled into who's my ideal client. What are they doing? They are a public health professional between X and X age. They, are career professionals. They feel like, they may have mid or senior level in their jobs. They're wanting to switch to something else. They're wanting to make additional income. I got really, really focused on who my ideal client was, and I went off of that, right? And with that, like you want to make sure too, when you build a course, you're also building in what's that transformation that they're going to have, and you're including that in their messaging. So not only what are they going to learn, but how is this going to transform them, right? So really focus in on that. With my first course, like I focus in on like, oh, I'm going to teach you how to get a job and you're going to, be able to do this and this and this, which was great. That was, a transformation, but it wasn't strong, right? It was just like, I know you need to know how to get a job. So that's what my messaging is about to focus in on. You need to know how to get a job. But now it's like, okay, you're going to learn how to build a consulting business so you can bring in an additional $40,000 in a year so you can eventually build your own public health business so you can make sure that you're making the money in public health. You can get the 6 figures in public health. You can build something that can be sustainable on the side, right? You can achieve your financial goals. You can do all of these things. So now that is your transformation. You are going to, after this course, be a public health consultant. That is what you are going to be, right? After this course. And I really drilled down on who was for. Like I said, I use the Circle platform, and there's multiple ways you can do it. The number one thing I recommend, if you're doing a course for the first time, I recommend you do it live. And here is why I recommend you do it live. Because one, you're trying to build your audience, right? You're really trying to build your audience, and you really have to figure out like, okay, how are you going to make sure that people are knowing your course exists, but also like that they know you? So you got to build that like, know, and trust factor when you're thinking about a course or you're thinking about just building anything, right? There's going to be like a direct to consumer type product. Okay. So you got to figure that part out. Like, okay, I'm building that like, know, and trust factor. So I'm going to do this live. All right. And then also too, like one of the mistakes that I made with recent grad boot camp is like, I pre-recorded it. Yes, which is a great strategy. However, I pre-recorded it. I didn't do it live. And then it was just open at any time. So like, and you could join at any time. There was no urgency. There was no like, oh, it closes here, like do this. Like it was just like, oh, I can take it whenever, like, oh, I'm gonna wait here and then I'm gonna take it, right? And even though it was very low ticket, it was $57, like they weren't biting, right? Or not biting like I thought they should. And now, like with the model that I'm using now, it only opens like, it opens twice a year, but actually moving forward, it's only gonna be once a year. So when it opens again in the fall, guys, go ahead and take it if you're trying to do it, because it's gonna open again next fall. So it opens once a year. So there's that urgency that you have, right? And also it's live, guys. So I decided to do a mixture of pre-recorded and live because people want me live. They want to be able to ask you questions. They want to be able to have somebody to go through things with them as they're doing it. So, but one of the things I had to think about, okay, I want to make sure I'm protecting my time. So how do I do that? What I did was a mixture of pre-recorded and live, right? So in this whole full 5-week course, I have a bunch of pre-recorded modules, and mainly that's one to protect my time, but also yours, because a lot of people can't come to everything live, right? If I have it live at 2:00 in the afternoon, everybody's not gonna be able to come. People work, people got lives, people got kids, people got families, people got priorities, right? So people want to be able to have an ease of access when it comes to your stuff. So I pre-recorded all of the modules, right? And as I pre-recorded the modules, I'm like, all right, we're going to do a weekly live session to go along with each modules. So I give you a week to review all the modules on your own time at your own pace. I'm also live in the comments as you're going through the modules. So for that 5 weeks, if you got questions, hey, you're able to comment with that platform I'm using. You comment on the modules, I see you, and I respond back to you within 24 hours. You get a response back to me, right? So that is one of the major things. It's like it is live. And then we have a weekly live session to do a recap of everything that we learned. You're able to talk with me and ask questions. And now your questions are structured because you watch these modules and you have actual questions pertaining to that, right? So I'm able to give you my focus and undivided attention, because I know that for those 5 weeks, I'm in the comments, I'm showing up every week because I am there for y'all to make sure that you have this. And that is something that people love. And that is something that you can make sure as you're building your course, that is definitely a strategy you can do, because you want to protect your time, right? And you want to make things easy for other people. But also, when you're building something and you put it out there, you want to create that sense of urgency, because that's big, okay? So I think that those are like two of the major things, like really building out who this is for, and then framing out like, okay, what's that sense of urgency? How am I going to build out this course, right? So like I said before, you're building a transformation for people. So really focusing on that. And if you're not sure, like, what should I create a digital course in? Like, number one, I need you to have experience in whatever you're creating in. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to host a course on how to be a project manager, but you're not even a project manager yourself. Like, don't do that, friend. Don't do it. Don't set yourself up for failure, okay? And actually make sure you got experience and you are, you don't have to be an expert, but make sure that you're good at it, right? Make sure that, hey, what are you that go-to person for? What do people always come to you for, right? And then do that. And then honestly, you have so much access to other professionals, other things. Do a poll. Do a little Instagram poll. Do a little LinkedIn poll. Do a poll within a Facebook group or whatever to see what they like or what they need or what they're struggling with the most, and do that work. Figure out where your target, your ideal client hangs out, and go be where they hang out and talk to them to see what are those pain points. So now you can build your course around that, right? So the other thing that I want you to make sure as you are building your course now, let's say you're like, all right, Dr. Des, I got my idea. I know who it's for. I know what transformation I'm going to give them. I picked a platform. I'm going to use Teachable. I'm going to use Circle, whatever. I picked a platform that I'm going to do. Now, how are people going to buy this course? Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to like say, hey, Instagram, I'm selling a course, come by? And that is not what you do, okay? Here is a process that I have seen that works time and time again for so many people, for me, that I use as well. Number one, remember we talked about that like, know, and trust factor? That's why you're going to do it live. This is what you're going to do. Number one, I do need you to build up your social media presence, okay? So pick one platform. You do not have to do all the platforms. I like Instagram. Now, it's going to depend heavily on where your people live. I would say either Instagram or LinkedIn. If you're trying to go the more professional route, like you're trying to reach professional people, people in work mindset, people in business mode, go to LinkedIn. But if it is more like, not necessarily casual, but maybe you're doing something like healthy eating or like, something like nutrition, or even like, you can even do like what I do. Like, you're trying to teach people how to do courses or how to do consulting or how to do, do public health career or whatever it is, they probably hang out on Instagram too. Pick one platform. Maybe it's TikTok you're going to pick. I don't know. But pick one platform and go all in on that one platform. Don't try to do everything at once, because that is how you're going to burn out. Have a strategy, and really, most importantly, figure out where your ideal client hangs out the most. Do they hang out most on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or on TikTok, right? Pick one platform and then build from there, right? You're going to start creating content around what you're going to be offering. Share your story, share your journey, get personal, right? If you're building a personal brand, which a lot of us are now, get personal, share your story, and keep sharing it. People have not heard, like I tell my story all the time, but it's so many people, it's millions of people who have not heard my story. So I'm gonna keep telling it, right? Every few weeks, I may tell the same story, but I may tell it in a little bit of a different way. May have some different visuals in it. Keep doing it. You may feel repetitive, but I guarantee you, people need to see your stuff. Now, here is one of the most important things in this whole video. I want you to know that you need an email list, okay? If you are going to sell any type of digital product, whether it's a course, a toolkit, a membership community, whatever, you need an email list to sell to. All right? Social media can attract and market your business, but email is going to be how you sell your business for real. All right? Your goal should be to get them from social media onto your email list, okay? And a lot of times you do that by offering a lead magnet. Dr. Des, what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is something that you give your audience for free in exchange for their email address. Now, some people may charge a price for them sometimes, just depending on what it is. I see people charge like maybe $27, $37 for whatever for them, but I would recommend, if you're just starting out and you're new to this game, do it for free. It could be a free webinar, a free training, it could be a free toolkit, a free template, a free resource that's going to help them, whatever, and promote the heck out of that lead magnet, okay? Promote it and get them to convert to an email subscriber, because you want to make sure that you have them, because why? You sell in the inbox. You're able to really follow up with them. They may not always see your posts on Instagram, on LinkedIn, but they're going to see your emails 9 times out of 10. Like, they're going to see those emails, right? And that is how you're going to keep following up with them, keep being at the top of the mind for them, right? And you've done this a lot of times. If you've ever went to a website and put in your email to get 10% off, you have officially been hooked with a lead magnet, all right? That 10% off is that lead magnet to get you to give them their email address. Why? So they can say, hey, remember your cart here? Your cart is waiting on you, right? How many of us have gotten that, right? So I want you to make sure that you know that is how you do it. Now, you may say, okay, Dr. Des, I just need to get them to, use my regular Google email address. No. So you need an email service provider. So an email service provider is not Google. An email service provider is a system that can basically automate your emails for you and is really going to hold all of your subscribers and really push out your content. So I use Kit. So kit.com, and I'll link it below, but I use that because I feel like it's easy. Like, as you're getting started, like the first, you get started is free, which a lot of them are free. There's others like Constant Contact, MailChimp. There's a lot of other ones that are out there. So do what feels best for you. A lot of them have their free plans as you're just getting started. And I would highly recommend you take advantage of the free plans. But basically, you put things in there and you can automate your emails, right? I don't write emails every day, right? My emails are automated. They're coming out. I batch them. Like, me and my marketing manager, we batch those emails and they come out to you guys, automated, right? That is what you want to get to doing. But now, going back to this with a digital course, maybe you create a lead magnet that is something complimentary of your course, right? So maybe I have, for instance, my Subcontracting to Six Figures course, right? With that, you may say, oh, Dr. Des developed this free quiz to see, are you ready to be a public health consultant? Bam. That's a lead magnet. Everybody loves a good quiz, right? Like a good little free quiz with some results. That's a lead magnet. My free ideal career quiz that a lot of y'all have taken. That's a lead magnet. Now I have your email address. Now you're on my email list. And not only am I providing you value, I'm also, promoting my resources, promoting the club because I want you to join the club, of course. However, one of the major things to remember as you're doing this, you do not always want to sell to people. You want to provide people value because people don't listen. If somebody don't know you from a can of paint, that's an old saying. But if they don't know you from a can of paint, they may not buy from you, right? People want to know you, and people are really discerning with what they do with their money now, right? They don't want to always purchase something and they don't know who it's from, right? They need that know, and trust factor, right? So in order to get people to trust you, give them value, right? Give them free stuff, give them value, showcase your expertise. You have to establish yourself as a thought leader, not just in the World Wide Web, but also with these people who you want to buy from you. So as they're on your email list, give them value, right? Have a weekly newsletter where you give them some type of value, some type of insights. You're sharing something with them to keep them there, right? Because you don't want to only go to people and say, hey, I got this coming out, come buy it. No, you have to give people value, okay? If you don't remember nothing from this, remember that. Give people value, all right? So we learned about an email list. We learned about our ideal client avatar. We learned about platforms for courses, okay? Now, once they're on your email list, I would highly recommend the first thing you do is do a free training or workshop or something like that. And you're going to work on how do I convert these people from my free training or workshop into my course, okay? And I would say when you're ready to sell, maybe you need at least 100 to 200 subscribers to your email address. And then you can say, all right, now let's build something so I can sell. I can sell this course because now I know what they want. They've given me their email address. They trust me a little bit. So now they may come to a free training or free workshop. So let me go ahead and host this and I can get even more people because people love some free, right? So they want to sign up for this. So now I'm going to pitch them. And you perfect that pitch and you go, right? Now your first course may flop. It may be terrible. You may not make any sales. But that's the thing, you learn from that and then you keep going. A lot of times people give up because it didn't do well the first time. But listen, I'm living proof. My first course, it wasn't great. It was not pretty. I didn't make a whole lot and it was very low ticket, right? But I kept going. And now building this other course, the first time I launched it, I made $20,000 from it. I said, oh my God, I got something here. People actually want to learn this stuff. People actually want to learn from me. Let me keep going, right? And not only that was people got that transformation that they were seeking too. So now I have testimonials from people who have taken my course and they've landed contracts. So their investment in that course paid them back 20 times over because they've landed a $20,000, $30,000 contract. And it's dang, all right, it works, right? So and that's the part that honestly keeps me going because people get results. And I love that. Every time somebody say, Dr. Des, I got the contract, I did this. That just makes me so happy. But do it live first, okay? Build small and just keep going. You don't need fancy technology. There's so many things out there that you don't got to code. You don't got to do a whole lot of things. You literally just start, all right? You just start, keep going, and get out there. And really just get your content out there so people can see it, okay? So now, guys, I am going to be having a digital course workshop. All right. It's going to be probably about 2 hours. So if you are serious about building a digital course, then check out the link in the bio, learn more, get on the wait list for that. And hey, let's go because you need the tools. I'm going to teach you what to do. Let's go, y'all. But all right, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave me some feedback here. Let me know what your course ideas are. I would love, love, love to see them in the comments. And all right, y'all, let's go. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.